So as we look at culture, and we're going to look first at culture itself, and then we will look at the differences between cross-culture, multicultural, intercultural, and then look at cultural competence, and lastly to kind of see what can we do? What can I do as an individual, and what can we do as a group? Because there's various groupings here. Okay? Now, we know that as community builders, and that's what each of us are called to be, to build community. Our business is to be able to recognize the differences in culture, in religion, and to be able to not let those differences separate us. Because it would be pretty boring if we were all the same. But if we can look at this and see what a gift those unique manifestations are. So in looking at culture, those are the shared experiences of a group. Each one of us is a cultural being. We come with a unique culture, but we come together. We form a group. And that group can be a committee, it can be a couple, a married couple, it can be a religious community, it can be a parish. But each of us bring those particular cultural distinctions. And we have to know, who am I as a cultural being? So we have to step back and look, okay, what was the culture of my family? Who was there? How did we do things? What were some of the values? What were some of the beliefs? I know in my family, I grew up in the Thumb area of Michigan. I thought everybody was white. Everybody was Catholic. Gets worse. Everybody was Irish. Claude OKC. And everybody was Democrat. Yeah. I mean, that was my cultural upbringing. And it was drilled into us from various ways and sources. We had I grew up on a farm, and so the next farm over, across the road, was a Polish family. And my mother, God bless her, always thought that they were stealing the turkey eggs. So we were not supposed to have anything to do with them. I mean, that's basic prejudice. And I think if we all look back into our families, we can see what was there. What were the values, the beliefs? And that's how we started out. And until there was some kind of a change, we continued living that way. And so that's probably why when I entered the community, because we were talking about this before we started, what was the motivation? Well, I wanted to get beyond this little small village. And so the community would be one way. And then they asked for volunteers to go to the mission, which was Puerto Rico. So I volunteered immediately. No preparation, no language learning, none of that good stuff. And it wasn't until I was there and began to see a whole different way of life did I realize how limited my cultural experience was. How biased my cultural experience was. And some of the very same values that my parents were instilling in us, and I resisted because it was too much work to be hospitable, to have a garden and really be interdependent with the world, the earth, and so forth. I resisted that. And then I go to Puerto Rico, and that's what was there. I was received as this young, inexperienced nun. And so it changed me tremendously, the conversion that took place there. So as we look over our life, what have been some of the transformative experiences you have had? Take a moment and think. What were they? Experiences that really changed you deeply, profoundly. Okay, could I ask you just to maybe share it with the person next to you? Maybe in little groups of 2 or 3, just to kind of share what that one experience might have been.